Google search ads versus Google shopping ads. Which one should you choose to run if you're a Shopify store owner or an online store owner? And how does each of these ads works? How much does it cost? What are the advantages and disadvantages of each of these ad types? And what should you choose if you're an online store owner, a Shopify store owner like yourself? Hi, I'm Clarice Lin, the ROI doctor who helps small businesses and online stores get more traffic and sales by getting on Google and YouTube page 1. Today's video is about Google search ads versus shopping ads. So many people have been asking me about what's the difference between these two types, and they get really confused because creating a Google Ads might seem pretty easy. It involves going to Google Ads account and creating a new campaign, but this is when the complexity sets in. When you log into Google Ads account to create a new campaign, this is the first thing you will see. Yes, there are 8 different campaign types for you to choose from. That's really complicated because then you are stuck. You are like, which one should I choose? And which is most effective if I'm running an online store trying to promote to shoppers and get them to buy my products. Before I go into the comparison of 2 different ad types, I thought I'll share with you how these ads would be showing up if you choose either of these ad types and how they will look like for your shoppers. Let's head onto my computer and see the screen share. We're in front of my computer and I have typed in the keyword looking for a 2023 journal planner. So when I type in the keyword, this is my search results page. On the top, it says ads. You can see these are Google shopping ads, basically. So what a Google search user will be able to click on this one and you will be able to see the different ads. So if someone's running Google shopping ads, they will be able to have their products listed here. Right below this carousel ads is the Google search ad. You can see this is a text ad. And if you go on to the shopping page, these are also Google shopping ad slots. So you can see all the products that's here under ads. Underneath the carousel, right here at the bottom, you can see we have the organic ads. These are Google shopping free listings that are all listed here. So let's take another look. Let's go back to the search results. If we type in journal diary, you can see now you have the Google shopping ads right here. Okay. Goes right down, you can see this here. So for Google shopping ad, this time around it's on the right hand side, but it's also in carousel format. And the Google search ad is right at the top. It says ad, Google search ad 1, Google search ad 2, Google search ad 3, Google search ad 4. And when we scroll down to the bottom of the page, we will also be able to see ad. So this is also a Google search ad. Similarly, when you go to Google Shopping, you will also see the Google Shopping ad. And these are the free listings. Cool. Now you have seen exactly how your ads will look like if you choose either of these options. Now we're going to go into the comparison of both ad types. For the similarity between a Google search ad and a Google shopping ad is that you can choose the budget, how much you want to spend on, how much is the cost per click, maximum cost per click that you want to select, which countries, which cities, which regions you want your ads to be showing up for, and on which days and which timing you want your ads to be showing up for. So this is pretty straightforward. The differences between the 2 ad types is for the setup and the research part. For a Google search ad, which is also commonly known as running like a PPC campaign, there are 2 things that could be more difficult for Shopify store owners or online store owners is that you need to do your research and you get to decide which are the keywords you want your text ad to be showing up for. And you have to design your own text ad. What are the words you want to use in your ad copy? and Google has to decide whether your ad copy is showing up correctly and whether it's relevant to the page that you are advertising. If you are very familiar with marketing, you're very familiar with keywords, then great, you can go for these ad types. On the other hand, for a Google Shopping ad, you don't have any control over when your shopping ad is showing up for. As a carousel image ad, you don't design the ad copy. Basically, Google uses your product title and your description, and they will generate a carousel post of each of your products, and then you will decide when they're going to show your products up for, when someone goes into the Google Shopping tab and type in some keywords. So this depends a lot on you as the store owner to make sure your product title, description, and your image are optimized and they have the right keywords and they are written correctly, so Google can do this matching correctly with their algorithm. Next, I'm going to go into a bit more details about the success of a Google search ad campaign. What are the different dependencies and what are the different factors you need to take into consideration? How would you be able to get a successful Google Shopping ad campaign? First and foremost, I want to highlight that Google keeps an ad score for each of your ad accounts and each of your campaign. So basically, if you historically have a good performance of previous ad campaigns that you have set up, then this is more likely that for your future campaigns that are being set up, Google looks upon your ad account has a favorable ad account, that they are more likely to trust you and are more willing to show to Google search users. If you are new to running Google Ads at all, then these are the factors that Google will be taking into consideration. Relevance of your ad to the page that you're advertising is one of the key contributing factor to the score. And of course, when you're running your ad, the search terms that you're targeting, the selection that you have made, that has to be in alignment or have some relationship or close association to your ad copy and your page as well. So all of these has to have some kind of link or relationship, and if they have high relevance, so to Google it's a good sign. It means that whatever you're putting up, whatever you're showing to users, you are going to show them the right products ultimately if they decide to click through on your ads. This is all about building trust, and Google wants to make sure that you as the advertiser is following through with your words. So once you have established a high relevance of the search terms to your ad copy to the specific page you're promoting, then that's great. And the next thing that also contributes to the score that Google is keeping track of is your click-through rate. So if everything is relevant and you are getting more clicks, so each time around Google decides to show your ad to a potential Google search user and they're clicking on it and they land on your store and then they hang out on your store for a long period of time or eventually decide to buy something, then Google says, oh, okay, a search user is looking for something, they type in a keyword, they click on this ad, they were happy with what they clicked through to the store, so it adds on to your score as well. The more clicks that you get, then Google looks upon your campaign as very favorable and they will start showing your ad to more people who are searching for similar keywords. However, if you're not getting clicks, or if you're getting users who go back and bounce off from the store immediately, not finding what they were looking for when they click on the ad, then this will not be favorable for your campaign. For your personal preference, you might want to know that the industry average for a click-through rate for your search ad is about 3.17%. So if you're getting slightly higher, then that's good for you. But of course, 3.17% I want to highlight is just a reference point. It's not the end point. This click-through rate could differ as well with a wide range depending on what type of products you are selling, the industry, and the price points of your products. If you have a high score based on all the different factors that I've listed earlier, then Google is more likely going to show your ad to more people. And if your ad is performing great, then Google will continue to show your ad to more people. You're going to get more clicks and you're going to get more views, and eventually that's going to reduce your cost per click and you're going to get more viewers viewing your ad. So that will be awesome. Having said that, there's also one more thing you want to take note of, is that if you have competitors similar to yourself who are running Google search ads, then if they decide to outbid you, then you might have to pay more to be able to rank ahead of them, depending on what types of products and how much they're putting in. So there is this other element based on your competitors or other stores who are bidding for the same keywords as yourself. So for reference purposes, the average cost per click for a Google search text ad could range from USD $1 to $2 per click. And I want to reiterate again as well is this cost per click depends greatly on which country you are targeting, which industry you are in, what type of products you're selling, and what are the price points of your products. And the conversion rate of a Google search ad is about 2.81%, meaning that ultimately out of all these clicks to your store that results in a sale, whether it's on the same day or later on, a few days later, that's about 2.81%. That's just a ballpark figure for you to do your math if you decide to run a Google search ad campaign. One of the things I want to highlight about Google search ad campaign is that most people think that once they run a Google search ad and then people click on it, they're going to buy straight away after that first click. But as we all know, if you have bought something online before, you know that if you're trying to buy something that costs about $100 or $200 USD, you're not going to click on that first ad you see and whip out your credit card and buy straight away, right? You're going to do your research, you're going to look at the products, you're going to look at a few reviews, you're going to do more research before you decide you want to buy the products. And then you might go back to the store a few times to check it out or check other product options as well before deciding on that final product. So you want to take that into consideration when you're running your Google search ad campaign is that you might not be able to see immediate results. Yes, you might be getting buyers who are ready to buy at some point in their research journey. Yes, definitely want to buy something, but sometimes it's not immediate. So keep that in mind when you're measuring the performance of your Google search ad campaign. So in summary, you will know that for a successful Google search ad campaign, it depends on multiple factors from the keywords that you're selecting, the ad copy that you have designed, and then optimizing your landing page of your product pages, and also looking at the overall performance of your campaigns before Google decides if they want to show your ad to more people. How does a successful Google Shopping ad campaign look like? Successful Google Shopping ad campaign depends on three main things, which is to make sure that your product title, product description, and your image, they are optimized. Meaning that your image needs to be of high quality. Preferably there should be more than one image for each of your products with a macro view, a micro view, zoom in with the details where needed, and as much product information as possible. So it could be like the color, the size, the brand, the weight of the product that you have, as much information you can provide as possible. And making sure that the keywords for someone searching for such a product is included in your product title and the description, which is the front part of your description as much as possible. Make sure that it's optimized. Don't use those marketing slang in the first two paragraphs of the description because Google is going to usually extract the first few lines and use that to decide who they will show your Google Shopping ad to. Because you have no control over the different search terms, so Google is going to decide based on their algorithm. So the only way you can make sure that Google is able to show your Google Shopping ad to the right people is to make sure that your title, description, and image are of top-notch quality. I cannot emphasize how important that is. If you see me repeating the same things over and over again, that's the reason why, because that hugely decides how successful your Google Shopping ad campaign is going to be. Some of you might ask me, how much does a Google Shopping ad campaign cost? So the cost per click for Google Shopping ad campaign is on average about USD 0.66, so about 66 cents. So it's definitely much lower than a Google search ad campaign, given that you don't have much control over which search terms that your ad was showing up for. But if you are someone new, then this could be a good starting point. But take note, similar to Google search ad, the average cost per click could be lower or higher depending on your industry, the countries that your ad is showing up for, the type of products, and your price points. And the click-through rate for your Google Shopping ad is about 0.86% as well. So do take that as a starting reference point if you're new to the world of Google Shopping ads. But as your ads are performing, and if your ads performing better than 0.86%, then that's good for you. The Google Shopping ads conversion rate is 1.91%. And of course, similar to the Google search ad, someone who clicks on your Google Shopping ad might not necessarily buy straight away unless if your product is maybe $5 or $10. That's really cheap. Something somewhere less than like $50 or so, I would say usually people will take less time to consider. And if the price points of your products are not over 100, of course they're going to take lesser time to consider, and they might be more willing to buy without going to your store multiple times. Now that I have broken down the comparison between the Google search ad and the Google shopping ad, you can see these are the different numeric values for you to consider, which is the conversion rate, Google search ad, which is 2.81%, the Google shopping ad 1.91%, the cost per click for a Google search ad, which is between USD $1 to $2. The cost per click for shopping would be 0.66 cents, and the click-through rate for Google search ads is 3.17%, and the Google shopping ad is 0.86%. So now that you have all the numbers in front of you, you must be wondering, so Clarice, which one would you recommend if I'm a store owner and this is my first time running an ad? Well, I'll definitely say to go for Google shopping ad campaign, mainly because it's easier to set up. You don't have to crack your brain over deciding which keywords you want to show your ads for. As long as you make sure your title, description, and your image and all the product attributes are submitted to Google Merchant Center in your product feed properly, then you let Google do the rest of the work, generating the ad itself, as well as deciding who to show your ad to. Based on the keywords or based on the description that you have submitted to them, they'll be able to make the best decision and recommendations to show to the right people to get those clicks to your store. And of course, if you want to further optimize your Google shopping ad campaign, you can also do that by excluding exact word match for your Google shopping ads. So you will exclude them as your negative keyword campaign to make sure that Google will consistently be showing your ad to the right people. And if you want to complement your Google shopping ad as well, there are a couple of things to do. As I mentioned earlier, shoppers who click on your Google shopping ads might not necessarily buy straight away. They might decide to come to your store a few more times or go to other stores or to go to Google to research on other reviews or what other people think about your store. So you want to make sure a couple of things to make sure that after they have discovered your products, they are more likely to buy. That is to make sure you have reviews on your store. If you possible, collect as many reviews. Get your customers to talk about how great your product is, not just to give a 5-star, to be more descriptive in their product reviews, especially for high-priced products, to tell future buyers that this is value for money, this is a quality product, and they should definitely buy it. And the second thing you can do is to set up an email pop-up, get users to sign up to your newsletter campaigns. You can offer them like the first purchase discount or some free gifts if they make over a certain amount of purchase. So if you get their contact details, this means that you can easily send them more information in the future if they decide to buy. The third thing you can do as well to enhance your Google shopping campaign is to run remarketing campaigns to people who have visited your store, show the ads to them again, show those products to them again, so that they can return your store for future visits or to confirm their decision that they in fact would want to buy your products. I would say all in all, Google shopping ad campaign is a good starting point if you just want to dip your toes into running ads for your store, especially using Google. Because people who use Google, they are likely having a higher intention to buy compared if you are running social media ads, which is of course, it's lower cost per click. You can spend less and possibly getting more visitors to your store, but they might not likely convert into a buyer anytime soon. If you're not ready to spend any money on advertising yet, then you might want to check out my other video on how to still get on Google Shopping, which is free listings, Google Shopping free listings by setting up Google Merchants, installing a Google Shopify app and opening up a Google Ad account, but you don't have to spend a cent. You can still get your products to be showing up on organic listings. You can check out my video right here where I explain it step by step and how you can get your products approved on Google Shopping free listings. And if you also want to consider other methods, you want to do a comparison between Facebook ads and Google ads, you can also check out my other video right here where I explain the pros and cons of
Facebook and Google Ads so that you can make a better decision for you as a store owner and decide where you want to put your money in. And there, of course, there are also other ways to drive more traffic to your store. You can actually check out my Shopify marketing guide right here, link in the description and pinned comments, where I talk about the different ways to drive more traffic to your store so you can get more sales. So I analyze the pros and cons of each different ways of driving traffic, and you can decide for yourself the best option that's going to make the highest yield. And if you really want to run ads but this is all too much for you, you can also get in contact with me. I help Shopify store owners to run Google Shopping ads, Google search ads for your store. So if you need a helping hand, then I will be able to help you to optimize your title, your description, and setting up an optimized Google Shopping ad campaign. You can get in touch with me by clicking on the link down in the description and pinned comments. And if you found this video useful, do remember to give it a like, subscribe to my channel, turn on the notification bell so you don't miss future videos on how to get more traffic and sales for your Shopify store, your online store. And I'm Clarice Lin, the RI Doctor, signing off. I'll see you in the next video. Bye! Thank you.